Howdy, partners. Recently, I've been interested in a Wild West game I came across called Ruthless. To play that, though, I need some cowboys to put on the table. So I got a few rustlers from the Dead Man's Hand line. Having been spoiled by Fallout Wasteland Warfare and their model's excellent bases, I wasn't going to be content to just slap these guys on a base and call it a day. Fortunately, I had recently gotten a new tool in my crafting toolbox, and this was the perfect opportunity to try it out. My guinea pig today is the cowboy that I've named Lefty, since he's the only one I built who shoots with his left hand. The first step was to clip off the molded platform that was attached to his feet. Next up was to mix up some green stuff and cover the base with it. This would also work with other sculptable material, but I have a bunch of green stuff on hand, so that's what I went with. Here's the new secret weapon, a terrain roller. I'd heard of these before, and even considered trying to 3D print one. However, I happened to get this one as a birthday present, so this was a perfect opportunity to try it out. I have the base that I want to roll the texture onto in the middle, but I also place some other bases alongside it. They're there to keep the roller from pressing down too far. I'm not sure how necessary they were, but it felt like it helped keep the design applied evenly across the bases. The first pass I did had some of the green stuff getting stuck to the roller as it went past, which isn't ideal. So I smoothed it out and tried again. This time, I pushed the roller a bit more slowly. I also had read a tip to use Vaseline to coat the roller as well. With those two modifications, I got a nice clean imprint with no sticking. Since the green stuff was still pretty malleable, I was able to press the model's feet into it and get a nice stable connection. Even though I had trimmed away the platform from the model, I had still left the plastic under its feet, which helped them line up with the floorboards nicely. Since these models are supposed to be in the Old West, I didn't want all of them to be on floorboards. So for some of them, I used a piece of sandpaper to imprint a sandy texture on the base instead. For some of them, I even tried out doing half and half boards and sand, and I think the effect turned out great. The first batch of cowboys was looking good, so I was ready to roll the technique out to the rest of them. Pun intended. These two models are actually supposed to represent the same character, the eponymous Dude from Sturgill Simpson's excellent Ballad of Dude and Juanita. On the right, he's just a normal model on foot. Since Ruthless has rules for characters on horseback, though, I wanted an option to try that as well. So on the left, Dude is also riding his faithful horse Shamrock. The scale of the Hero Forge STLs is actually a bit larger than the Dead Man's Hand miniatures. I think they're more 25 or 28mm scale, but Dude appears to be closer to 32mm. It works out in this case because Dude and Shamrock are both supposed to be pretty large. But if you want to integrate any other Hero Forge characters in with Dead Man's Hand minis, then you might want to scale the STL down when printing. Speaking of, I printed these on my Ender 3 machine. FDM printers aren't always the best for tabletop miniatures, but I found that with a 0.2mm nozzle and a 0.08mm layer height, I can get pretty good results. I'm not quite as good as a resin printer, but I don't have access to one of those, so I make do with what I've got. Here's the first batch of Ruthless Rustlers, all ready for priming. I have the kit of 10 gunslingers, 2 metal Native Americans, Dude and Shamrock, and then some terrain, both resin and printed. Boom, and there it is all primed up. It's going to take a while to get everything painted, but it's been fun to get this far into the process. Keep an eye out for more updates on this set, and possibly even an actual game or two with a Western rule set eventually. Happy trails!